this out. And I'm gonna get this. Start playing this music. I think this would be okay. Maybe I gotta get this a little bit lower. Alrighty guys, for some reason I feel like my microphone's a little bit low, but maybe it's okay. I got this working. All my cameras are cruising. So we're gonna swap over to wedging table. Wedging table. It's a little bit tilted, but that's okay. I'm gonna get the ones from yesterday off of here. They need to start drying. Really need to think about a better way. Maybe I just need to get more bats, because I'm starting to, you know, they're not drying fast enough. I'm telling you, winter cannot come soon enough where my apartment will finally have its heating back on. It was always cooking down here, so everything would dry like it. Things would take like a day and a half to dry. Now they take like forever. Which, it's okay. Life goes on, right? But still, it was so nice because I could just pop them off really quick. We said, sup? Hope you're doing well. Oh, I can switch over to camera C. Camera C. Alright. I think I have all the ones I need right here. So pop this over here like this. And then I'm gonna start wedging away. This thing got stuck on my head again. I literally hate that thing. It's like the little light thing that you pull to turn the light on, but I don't have any bulbs in there, so it just hangs there. It gets caught on my headset sometimes. It drives me crazy. Alrighty. Get these two. Now we're gonna start. Cover this up. I gotta be a little bit quick today, so I'm already taking too much time. Here we are, we're gonna wedge these up. Alright, so there's one. Alrighty. A little quick spiral wedge on these ones. That way they're a little bit more cone-like. So hopefully, I've been getting some problems where I've been adding too much air when I've been wedging, so I've been wedging a little bit poorly. But I think also some of that could be the way that I attach the chunk on the wheel. So I don't know if I want to fully blame my wedging just yet. Alright, let's give it a little spin. That works. Camera A. that's a little bit too fast. Don't you guys feel like that? The vibe's a little bit chiller. Okay. Alrighty. Apple. Hey guys. Oh, I'm kind of floating. It can be like right here, like this. Good morning, chili dogs. What you focus on? Grows. Feed them horses. I'm up here today. I forgot I lowered the camera, so now when I stand up back there, I'm like in a weird space, so it kind of breaks the illusion a little bit. So I'm crouching down today. But anyway, yeah, guys, we're gonna do these 3 pots. Trees, you know, doing them every day, and not too much else. So let's get into it. I'm trying to rush through it a little bit today, so I'm gonna be expedient. That's the word for today. Expediency. All right, see you guys in a second. Green off. Camera C. So I gotta make sure whenever I go to my pottery shelf, the microphone seems a tad low. Okay. Yeah, you know, I was looking at it. It did seem kind of low, but I couldn't really tell why. Because I have the hookup the same as I always do. But this should be a lot better. Like here, I feel like I'm starting to get into the yellow, so this should be way better. Vamos. Vamos. I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well too. Sweet. I feel like I should just always, whenever it's at like a middle range, I should always make sure it reaches like the yellow. There's like different colors. I think my voice, as long as it reaches the yellow bar, it's gonna sound okay. Alright guys. Pop this in. Remember, I'm just trying to make sure I can stick this down to clay first. And once I get this down, I'm just gonna run my finger right along this edge. We'll swap over to camera A. Camera A. There we go. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to do. It's gonna spin like that for a second. I gotta bring this over here. That way I can kind of manage everything from over here. There we go. Alright, left hand. Pushing forward. Somebody said, ooh, a new background? Yeah, I do a new background every day. It's all dependent on the playlist that I'm playing for the day. So, this one was like a morning coffee playlist or something. Alright. I'm gonna bring this down first. Egg. Thank you for the egg. Something I gotta make sure too. I'm gonna get this, my hair is already, like I can feel it's gonna cause me some problems, so I'm gonna throw this behind and clamp it over, so hopefully I don't have to play around with my hair too much. There's times when I'm working and it gets so much in the way, and I just imagine scissors in my hands at those moments. Slowly walk this up. Alright, we're gonna slowly bring this down. Just going straight down. Make sure that left hand is staying sturdy. Slowly walk that back. There you go. You got your little hockey puck here. Now you're going to project your 2 thumbs down. So open this up. Use your claw, cut through that base, slowly walk that out. Dang, yeah, I feel the same way about long hair. Like, there's a lot of times in my life where I did not have long hair. This is the longest my hair's actually been. And I just, as much as it's annoying, I know that if I got rid of it, I wouldn't be as satisfied. And I also had this idea, is like, I want to see what my hair growth, or what my genetics have represented in my hair growth. Does that kind of make sense? I just kind of want to see what I would look like if I was like a wild man. Sometimes I want to cut or rip out my hair. Sometimes I do accidentally rip out my hair. It gets caught on so much stuff. But I'm going to grab the llama. Llama's going to bite down, slowly make this volcano. Walk this in. I have a weird spot right in this middle part that I got to make sure I'm kind of handling properly. The clay is a little bit softer today too, so keeping that in mind. My knuckles at this bottom base. Slowly going inwards. Remember, always trying to equalize those walls first, and then we go for height, right? We have one more that we can equalize, so camera B. Let's see. Dang, a mullet, yo. I used to have a pink mullet, believe it or not. Like a flamingo pink. Okay, this will be a smaller tree, but I think the clay on the bottom is a little bit thicker, so maybe this will be a little bit more uniform. Let's see what it looks like in a second, but let's get the water out. I probably do have one more pull, but I think I want to leave this one thicker on the bottom this time, just to test out how this works. Breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I definitely had 6. Okay. Interesting. So this one really didn't want to twist up as much. Do we let it be, guys, or do we manually twist it? I think we gotta manually twist this one. I feel like it's really not selling the tree. It's a little bit too wide, so I'm gonna hold this. There we go. There we go. Kind of squat that down a little bit. And so that one was, the walls were maybe not even 1/8 of an inch thicker, but just that thickness made it increasingly difficult for it to want to pull or to collapse inwards, right? And so that's kind of the thing that you sacrifice whenever you go thinner or thicker, is when you go thinner you can really have those wind up. Where you go thicker, you actually can't overpower the thickness of the clay or the strength of the clay when you spin that top up, right? So kind of something that's interesting to think about. Still, we wanted the tree, so yeah. Yeah, the mid-length hair is just the absolute worst, that's for sure. When I was at the mid-length, I always just used one of those hair bands. I was always just using the hair bands. Alright, so here we go. If I'm looking at this, we're definitely gonna probably do the busy bottom here, so oh my gosh. 2. This is gonna be. I really got to get my pedal fixed up. Come on. Whenever I move it slow, it either wants to stop or it wants to go way faster. It doesn't want to go like a nice slow speed. So that's kind of annoying. It's okay. The bottoms are not really about getting them really organized, because we don't want it to look too pattern-like, or else it's not going to really look like foliage or it was grown, right? Pull this up. I don't know if it's a pedal problem I'm having with the pedal, or I'm actually like a gearbox problem. So, but do I have time to figure it out now? No, I don't. There we go. Bring this in, bring this in, bring this out, bring this in, bring this in, bring this out, bring this out. There we go. And so there we go. Some little foliage on the bottom of the tree. I'm going to swap over to camera C, camera C, camera C. There we go. As long as it's still spinning, we're going to keep on spinning, you know? So I appreciate your concern for it though. I feel like my wheel is so stressed out. I always have this image that the wheel is just like, it takes a big sigh of relief whenever I leave the studio. It's just like, oh, sweet, he's out of here. And then I come back and then it's like, here we go again. But a little bit of water right underneath this bottom edge. We'll swap over to camera A. Camera A. Grab my finger and just claw that right underneath and slowly walk this up, right guys? There we go. What if it gets so fed up and decides to run away one day? Sad. I do have another mini wheel that I could use. I like to think that my wheel, although it's like scared and fed up with me, like deep down it still cares about my mental and wants to help me pursue these little dreams, right? It's a loving wheel. Alright, you gotta chill out, bro. The wheel views me as like that friend that has all these like weird little problems in their life and then wants to still hang out with and help out, right? It's like a really good friend that understands all your little quirks and piccadillies and sticks around, right? It's a good wheel. Alright. Slowly walk this down. We're gonna swap over to camera C. Okay. The hammer fist is down. And you see how my left hand is always on this left side here? And when the hammer fist is riding against that thumb backwards, almost like a train that's on a rail, right? Bring that back, and there you go, you got your hockey puck. Open this up. Get some water on the interior there. And slowly cut back those fingers like butter. You really want to use your fingers as a cutting tool rather than like a pushing and pulling tool at this stage, right? You can kind of open this up, right? There you go. I'm gonna leave that bottom about 1/8 of an inch. I'm already almost there, actually. I can kind of just feel it at this point, but some people will take a needle tool and they'll gauge the thickness by stabbing through the bottom. Usually the needle tool doesn't create any air pockets or anything, so you should be okay by just going right over top of it after you make the hole. Okay, smooth that out there. Alright guys, turn this off. You know what time it is. Camera B. Hey guys, it's me, Mr. Llama here. We're chilling out today in the morning, and we're gonna be throwing some pots. Volcano number 2 on its way. Let's get into it. Right there, slowly. That llama's biting on that rim, walking that back. As that left hand is slowly pushing forward, and it's those hands coming across each other, across that center point, not through it, across it. Right past it, that creates that nice volcano there. Why do I do this? I think it's a lot easier to bring in this base to get height every time than it is to start up here and then try to get, you know, that thickness out that way, you know? If you look at like a lot of the like Korean ongi potters, they do stuff like that, where they'll center it from really tall up, or they'll even just coil build the wall up, you know? But people start with a giant chunk and that'll just make their hole from all the way from the top. Do I eat clay? I've eaten clay before. I have 4 edits of me eating clay for a video. Right down to the bottom edge here. Really slow on the base. The base is the most important part of the whole vessel here, right? The rim is also pretty important, but not as important as the base. I feel like if you screwed up early on the base, you're kind of in a bad position here. I also had a thin spot there. I don't know if you guys saw that weird little hole there, but that's going to be a problem area as well soon. Okay, we're going to do one more pull. Right down at the base one more time. Slowly we gotta get that quest. The quest is that bump. Now past that thin spot that's right there. Right here is a thin spot. Am I a fan of dinosaurs? I love dinosaurs. I think they're the coolest thing ever. The Ava Mimus. It's like a raptor with wings. It's pretty cool. There's a dinosaur book when I was a kid, and I'd always look and try to find my favorite dinosaur. And I specifically remember the Ava Mimus was my favorite dinosaur in that book. Don't eat clay. There's a reason why you don't put it down the sink. Well, you actually can, if you allow the clay, right? Like you just don't want to put chunks down it, right? But like dry clay, for example, the clay that dries up on my clothes, once it's fully dried, it actually just dissolves back into water. The thing you want to make sure is you don't put like clumps down, because if you put a clump down that's at its leather hard stage, sometimes it forms a little water barrier and it actually doesn't get any softer, really. You'll see if somebody sets like a huge chunk of clay into a reclaim bin, it just doesn't want to dissolve. So it's just kind of interesting how that stuff works, you know. But anyway, here we go. started with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want this to be kind of a bottom twist here. Actually, I think I want it to be more towards the middle, so I'm gonna emphasize it here in this middle part. And then, are we at camera B? Yeah, we are at camera B. Okay. I'm gonna slowly hold this, twist that down, so now we have that middle twist, right? I'm gonna take this top, and slowly arch those fingers out. And we're going to open this up. You got to be really careful. And you see how I'm almost following that wobble a little bit? That way I can bring that top out, right? Get this chalice look. Have it open up completely. Feeling the vibe of the pot, right? So, right down to the bottom. Keeping our eye, the twist should be kind of cemented. You see how it's kind of twisted down right at that bottom base? That's where the structural point is for the vessel right now. So as long as that is kind of sturdy there, it's not going to want to tip over. Should be okay. Right down to the bottom base. We don't have a lot of extra clay on this bottom part here, because there's a couple options on what we can do. It's really thin as well, and so if I'm down here though, and if I'm looking at this, I wouldn't really want to do too much else. Maybe I would do what would I do here? I'll do tabs, in-out tabs. Tabs, they're not going to really affect the overall voice of the form, I feel like. And they just allow it entry points visually to see that roots or that base of the vessel, right? And so I actually think that these are kind of the most simple things that you can do for the bottom of the vessel here. And so I'm going to do that just because I think that top and that middle part are speaking so loudly. But camera C. Go, guys. We got one more vessel to do, and that's it for today. Push that over. Okay. Camera A. Camera A. Here we go. Right here, like that. Said birds are dinosaurs. Yeah, that's why sometimes birds freak me out. Although I do like turkeys quite a bit. I don't know if you guys have seen turkeys before, but they are like majestic modern dinosaurs that hang out in little groups, you know? They're the craziest thing ever. Oh, somebody said the Ava Mimus is sick. I'm a big fan of the Carolina Butcher just because it's Lucia Link. Giant, fast crocodile. Wow. I feel like there's a lot of really good aquatic dinosaurs, right? Like there's this one, it was like a dolphin with teeth. It looks insane. I think it's sort of like a D. There's this game on the DS. I don't know if you guys played a DS, but it was like called like Fossil Fighters, and they had a bunch of these. I think there's actually a bunch of animals that didn't that didn't make sense or they weren't real, but I think some of them were real dinosaur names, or based on real dinosaur names. But yeah, but I like that one. Someone says they get crocodiles in the backyard. Oh no. How did I get started with pottery? I quit drawing, and I needed to pick up something, so I took a craft elective class where you could kind of just try out all the different craft electives that you could take. So like glass blowing, metals and jewelry making, and then ceramics. And then I felt like ceramics was the thing that I could do all day, and I was like, well, I have a year and a half left of school, I gotta pick something. So then I picked up ceramics, and I told myself I'm not gonna give up on stuff no more, and I just kept at it, and that's where I'm at today. Oh, the turkeys in your backyard, so cool. I said, they fly. They literally, I saw a turkey fly up on somebody's roof and then fly in a tree. I was like, what the heck? I was stunned. Or should I say I was, as the new trendy language goes, I was shooketh by the turkey. I just couldn't believe it. I was just on a walk, and this, all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I just see this turkey jump up on a roof. He was just chilling up there. I actually wouldn't be angry if we stopped that. No more eagles. Eagles are out for America, right? Eagles are out, turkeys are in. I would have been totally fine with turkeys being the national bird. They're epic. Even though we end up eating them during Thanksgiving, but maybe that's like, you are what you eat, you know? We are the turkey. But regardless, when I saw it fly in the tree, it was so cool. I feel like I see videos, look up like in Canada, bald eagles, Canadian bald eagles like pestering fishermen. There's like gangs of these bald eagles that just annoy these fishermen after they get done like catching a bunch of fish, and it does not make me be like, dang, eagles are cool. It makes me be like, dang, eagles are like vultures. Start eating eagles at Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's illegal to eat eagles, actually. That might just be like one of those things somebody says at school that you just think is true, but it's not. What's the point of bending the clay when you get it into the tall tower? Does it help? First, I think it's cool, right? And I think about it this way, right? When you can feel the clay and you can control it, and you kind of get this idea of like almost taming the clay, and the more time you spend with the material and kind of test what it can do, the better you get at all the other processes, right? So that's the big thing. You know, if you ask old school potters, they would tell you, well, you know, it's a form of, it's called wheel wedging, and it really helps out with the plasticity of the clay and getting it warmed up for your poles and stuff. But I don't really, that's not why I do it. Something too is like a lot of times people struggle with centering because they're working with a little bit too much clay that they can handle, and their base of the clay is too thick. So getting that tall first narrows that base, so it's easier to kind of get that centered, right? But yeah, just more for fun. Change country, problem solved, and I can start eating all the eagles I want. Llama slowly pulling this in. There we go. Here's our little volcano. I'm a little bit nervous for this chunk, guys. I'm feeling some not so great qualities of the clay, especially towards this bottom edge, but let's see what we can do here. Knuckles, pushing in, shifting that wall inwards. And I have a weird spot right there that I gotta make sure I keep an eye on, okay? So you guys, maybe you guys could see that right in this area here is getting a little bit funky, right? But let me swap the camera over to camera B. Okay, here we go, one more time. Right down to the base. And I slowly bring this up. Find this this little bump area here. Again, you can kind of see this little line here. It's acting a little, clay's being a fickle thing. There we go, call that one more time. Late but here now, no worries. I'm calling this in. Walk this up very slowly. When you go slow, you can almost start to feel the way that the clay wants to move, right? And you can slow down accordingly to that. Right, again, right here is a thin spot, so you'll probably see that create a little line here when I go to pull this up. So keep your eyes peeled for right in this area. Right down at the bottom. Project that clay in, shift that in. Slowly take that finger on the interior up, over top. Go slowly, walking this up. Alright, I just got past that thin spot. Okay. I'm bringing that back in. You can see why, like on this thin spot, I went outwards, so I caused less tension there, right? But there we go, guys. But then I was thicker, so I could bring that back in right above it, right? It's your explanation. I always wanted to try that method, but it looks difficult to pull off, especially with shaky hands. You know, sometimes even like I actually don't like being in front of the camera. That's like extremely nerve-wracking thing for me. And sometimes I get really nervous. My leg will like shake uncontrollably, and the right side of my face, right, like my eye will just twitch nonstop, and I can't control it. But I've realized that even if with shaky hands, you can really do a pull. It's just you got to maintain that bump, even if it's a shaky bump. As long as you have that bump, the clay will be stretched properly, and it'll be okay, you know. And so I would just say, like, whenever you're shaking, just try to, you know, sit with that shaking, right, and just keep on moving. And if it messes up, then that's all you do is you start again, right? Just like how I've been slowly becoming more comfortable being around a camera, I'm sure if you keep at it, you slowly become more comfortable with having shaky hands and throwing, you know? Alright, right down at the bottom. I'm trying to make a little bit of a skirt indentation so I can start this now so I don't have to worry about it later. Here we are. Totally. If you look at my early stuff, I was just really silent. I wouldn't even talk sometimes. So it takes a little bit. Sometimes I feel like I should just leave them like this, you know, but I'm gonna create, you see how the twist is not set on anything, so there's no structure in this right now. So I'm gonna set this down, and I give it a little shake down. Now it has the structure, right? And so now I'm gonna have my hands on the inside here. Once it tilts over a little bit, right? So how are we gonna fix this? We could leave it as is, you know, and that's okay. But I think if we keep on twisting it, it's gonna wanna dip over. You can even see it's not even closed there, right? So how do we fix this? Is first we go to the side that it's lifting up on, and we're gonna aim it, and we're gonna lift it up, over, and then we twist this down. There we go. And then now it's on a new center point. And so now it should be okay.
So you can see now it's totally being supported on that bottom base. I'm not gonna mess with the top. I kind of like the orb top. It kind of reminds me of what's that? The puffball tree, the Lorax tree. Kind of gives me some of that energy there. I didn't want this to fully fall. Choke. I just wanted to kind of bring that rim in just a tad, right? The bottom, yeah, I saw that it ripped a little bit. Sometimes if you twist it up too much, it'll literally rip. I'm at the stage now too, where I've done this sometimes and I actually ripped the whole thing off. Like I was holding it down once and the whole thing ripped and I just lifted it up. I just set it back on, I just kept going and it was okay. That's probably one of my favorite top 10 favorite moments of throwing this year. I made it into a short video. It's kind of cool. The bugs got into the tree. They're eating there's this type of tree in America called the ash tree, right? And there's these emerald ash borer beetles that are destroying the trees all across America. And so this one got a little emerald ash borer eaten at the tree. That'd actually be a really cool project. If I was an environmentally knowledgeable human being, I would have made this project like all about the emerald ash borer tree, and I would take like the pattern that the beetles carve into it and I'd make a little stamp and stamp that into the sides of all the trees. You know what? We're gonna do a double tendril on this one because we haven't done one today. Early on, I didn't make any double tendrils, and so I think for this last like 500, I've been like going extra hard on the double tendrils, just so I can have a good showing of the double tendrils. I want you to be able to look at all of them and then literally be able to see like a bunch of the double tendrils. It's not going to be as tall, I don't think, but I do think we can kind of bring this over just a tad. Imagine, it's kind of giving me like the Starry Night Scream or whatever it is. Same guy, I don't even know what not the Star Night. I think it's just called Scream, right? Or whoever that painter is. I feel like that's the painter I always forget because I remember whenever we would talk about it, it annoyed me. Because I think it's like the painter that everybody learns first. And that's why I chose to forget it. Right down to the bottom. How hard do I need to press on the tendrils for them to stick? Not very hard. You almost gotta barely tap it because the clay is so wet that it actually just wants to stick on there. 2 days ago I made like 25 cups, and then I did a similar process, and they actually look kind of interesting, but I'll have to show you how those work. But yeah, if the clay is wet and soft, you can literally just kind of stick it right on. It should be okay. No slipping or scoring because the clay is, like I said, so wet. Termite tree, laugh out loud, and I like that. The idea that you don't use tools much. Yeah, I don't really use tools too much. Into the hole. Oh yeah, I've had ones where when like I wanted to do some that like hooked in, but the interior hole sometimes is big enough for one of my flowers to go in. So I make these ceramic flowers that will like droop over, but I don't know. Right at the front here. Camera C. Have you fired these? I've never fired one, but somebody, one of my students, they asked me, they say, can I have one of these for a bird bath? And I was like, sure. You know, and so they made like this bird bath out of it, so I could see it fired, and it seemed fine. Some people always comment like, air bubbles, what about the air bubbles and pockets that are formed? And I just tell them, you know, I think that's like a big ceramic myth, you know? Is as long as you're slow with how you fire, right? I would say you don't have to worry as much about the air bubbles. I've made a totally hollow objects like balloons without a pinhole in it, and I fire them okay. It's really about how even your walls are and how dry you have it before you fire it, and then how slow you go towards your quartz inversion phase, because I feel like that's usually when things want to explode, right? Probably horrible to clean. Yeah, I think the best way to clean these would just be to fire them again. I did that with a cup one time. I was getting a lot of coffee, and it was like the glaze was crazing, and I was getting a ton of coffee stuck in the like the little cracks in the glaze, and I was like, this just looks like unsanitary. Let me just fire it again and see what happens. And I cleaned it all up, and I think I took it to a higher temperature, and I think the glaze matured because those little crazing effects never came back. So I think it was just I fired that glaze at the wrong temperature. Or wrong atmosphere, I guess that's also true. Alright. Camera A. This guy is annoying me though. He needs to be out in front a little bit more, so I can bring this guy over. That's the vibe right there. Guys, these ones today are actually like, these are a total vibe. I'm like such a fan of the setting today. Like they really look cool together. Do you have any videos with flowers? Of me throwing the flowers? I don't have any of me throwing the flowers, but when I was trying to redefine how I made handles, I'd make a bunch of my handles into like little flower thrown right off the hump. I'll do those one day after I finish my thing, but top view if you do the camera setup. Yeah, I still want to get, I actually want to do a thing one day where I do like a 24-hour, like just stream the whole entire 24 hours. I think a lot of people do that, but I think most of the time people are like, there's a lot of dead space in those streams, where I think if I just made for 24 hours, I've done that before a couple of times, you know, I think that'd be a lot more interesting. And maybe if somebody came to the beginning and then saw all the stuff I made by the end, it could be kind of interesting for them. Anyway guys, send me over some energy. I'm gonna get over there in a second. 5 episodes later, still charging the energy. Apple. I feel like the Apple thing is too jarring. I feel like it doesn't fit the vibe really. Alright, but anyway guys, I think we're going to start off with a review here. Maybe we'll start off with this one. I always seem to start off the ones over here. But anyway, this one, I actually like all of the pots from today. I think they're all pretty decent. This one I kind of like because it's the most narrow on the base, right? If you look at the veins of the tree top here, or the veins of the tree, the trunk, I should say, right? Look how thin it is compared to like this one or this one, right? It looks really nice when it's all twisted up like that. I think it's a really nice contrast between how thin and twisted up that is to how full the top is. Look, this one's opened up all the way. This one's kind of flattened out a little bit, pancaking. This one really has a nice orbular, is that a word? Ocular? I don't even know. But shape to it. It has a fullness, right? Then I have the double tendrils coming up. It almost makes me feel like it's screaming or it's holding its head. Something is happening there, you know? I think it looks a little bit stressed, to be honest. But anyway, I really like that pot. That is definitely a winner. This one too, I also think is a winner, but in a different way. This one's a little bit thicker towards that base, right? But the reason I think I kind of like this one is just because this one's really uniform, and I did the inward-outward tabs on the bottom. This was in a really old style, but I think how powerful the twist is and how powerful the top opening up is. I think you need something a little bit less intrusive on the bottom. Sometimes I think with the tendrils it gets a little bit too crazy, and so having the tabs on the bottom really allows that breadth of that object, right, to really show some of those other aspects other than just the bottoms of them, right? So I think that one's pretty nice too. And then we got this one in the back. I think this one just kind of looks kind of cool. I think if you look up on the top camera, the down view, you can kind of see some of the tendrils snaking around. They look very flowy, they look very loose. I think this one, it's probably the one that I don't like the least, but I still think there's some nice things about it. Like how wide on the base it is, really allowing those tendrils to kind of sit and nest and hang out, right? I think that bottom really becomes the focus of the tendrils. But then when you get to the top, it's such a nice contrast and it just shoots out right away, creates a nice shadow underneath there, which I think allows for that tree to actually work out nicely. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. All the best. Strong mentality. I'm not going to say it, but I'm going to say goated 1. Alright guys, that's kind of it for me. I'm gonna pop in and look at the chat. Oh, do you teach? Yeah, I teach some classes. East chili dogs stay well. That's epic. I love those emojis. Chili dogs. Like a chili pepper dog. That's so cool. Damn. Aw, thank you. Too much energy. Orbular is my new favorite word. It makes sense, right? I feel like it's not... I think the word is actually spherical, right? But orbular sounds way cooler. No mid-tree. Aw, yo. Thank you. I agree with you. I feel like they're all pretty good today. But, mid-tree looks like it's maybe because the base is raised. Oh, I see kind of what you mean. You mean like it has too much shadow underneath of it? I'd say so. You should make a voice command for the edits. Mute the stream audio. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. That's probably good. Orbular is the superior word, no doubt. So funny. Alright, yo. It sounds like a magical spell. Alright, well anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I gotta get to editing and I gotta get ready for work here, so computer. Peace out, guys. See you tomorrow.